Hello, I am going to read from my book M.O.S.S, My Old Short Stories, and it's abstract humor, so I apologize to those that don't find it entertaining, but basically, these stories of fiction, fantasy, and action are a collection of 45 short stories written in the 1980s by a kid for kids. I wrote these stories as a kid to be read by kids and read by kids to other kids. Adults may read these stories, of course, but those that live in denial of their creativity will be challenged by the contents of this book. Warning: those that try to apply reality to these stories may get in trouble and serve detention. So basically, this is just reading practice. I hope you enjoy. The long-awaited word. As John slugged through the thick and mosquito-filled swamps, snakes and bugs crawled up his legs. It was very foggy. He could barely make out a huge rock ahead. He trudged on, quickly knocking off all the leeches and worms. John reached the rock. The rock began to move, and lo and behold, it turned into a giant humanoid creature. I have brought the dead body you wanted. Now tell me which section of the notebook this is, John said as he threw down the body of a bloodied orc. For many a year, the elders have kept this section a secret, but now it looks as if I must tell you, it said. The long-awaited word, the name of this section, the ancient, forgotten subject, is English. The end. The missing pickle. One day, a detective went to the pickle jar. Then something caught his eyes, or rather, that something was the empty liquid, and the thing that failed to catch his eyes was the pickle. The pickle was gone. I remember I slipped the pickle into my pocket. The detective meditated on the subject. Here it is, the detective said, producing the pickle, which was in question, but was now in exclamation. The end. The missing Chewbacca. All was quiet in the outlaw base. Then something happened. Large chunks of rock ceiling caved in. Boulders hit the platform and even landed on some outlaws. After the dust settled and everybody shouted, "Where is Chewbacca?" Most of the outlaws wore green hats. The leader wore a blue cape. The leader lost his hat in the collapse. He still had his purple shirt, gray pants, and blue cape, though. After dusting everything off, the leader called a meeting. He and 3 troops went to hunt for Chewbacca. They walked to the nearest cave. The leader found Chewbacca tied up at the back of the cave, and untying Chewbacca, they saw the monster that made the mess. They ran away from the large green monster, back to the outlaw base. The outlaws were out of the cave before the monster could get them. The outlaws were having a celebration. They soon realized Chewbacca was missing again. They looked through the balloons down the hall. The shadow of the monster could be seen on the wall. They were mad when they found out it was Chewbacca's shadow. He was doing finger puppets to trick them. The end. The missing dinosaur. There once was a dinosaur king named Rex. Rex went out on his balcony and all the dinos cheered. Then Rex left a note saying, "The first dino who finds me is a good dino." Triceratops, Stegosaurus, and Pterodactyl were his advisors. They found the note and got other dinos, birds, and lizards looking too. Even Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus, and Diplodocus got into the fun. They looked up at trees and down in caves. They could not find Rex. Some decided to go back to Dino Mountain. Once, Duckbird Dinosaur looked in the throne room. Ankylosaurus checked the dungeon. Outside, another dino looked in a hollow log. King Rex was hiding in a tree, but decided to change hiding spots. Rex went into the mouth of a giant sea monster. He thought that nobody would find him there, but a bird found him. Together they walked back to Dino Mountain. At the throne room, they all cheered, for the bird was a good dino. The end. The missing armor. Once upon a time, two knights were fighting. One with a round helm, the other with a square helm. Both had weapons and full plate mail. The knights fought all day. Square helm sliced round helm's feather. Round helm cut at square helm's leggings. That night, while the knights slept, ants carried round helm's armor away. The knights were fast asleep and did not wake until morning. In the morning, the knights returned to the battlefield. Square helm laughed to see the other knight in pink pajamas. "My armor is missing," Round helm yelled angrily, without his helm. They found his breastplate stuck in an anthill. Round helm pulled his armor from the anthill, one by one. The pieces of his armor, one by one. The knight stuck out his tongue and yelled at the ants. Round helm swore he would never fight again. Fighting was just not worth the trouble. Battle always led to worse things. The end. Rome, Italy. Once a long time ago, some Romans stole the lost Ark of Israel. They got the Ark, but a huge boulder came rolling after them. They ran as fast as they could in sandals. The boulder got stuck in a cave, but they lost their weapons. The Romans went to the temple of Jupiter in Rome. They opened the Ark. Out came thunder and lightning. Angels and demons swirled all around. The lightning killed the Romans and ruined their city, Rome. The lightning and thunder continued coming from the Ark. Then all at once it stopped. The lid fell shut. The temples were all broken. Years and years later, the ruins broke down more and more. One day, an archaeologist found the ruins of the Temple of Jupiter. The archaeologist put up a fence and rebuilt the temple. The end. Romans versus barbarians. The Romans were very happy to attack the barbarians. The barbarians were very tired and sleepy and were known for their stupidity and silly barbar talk. Suddenly the Romans snuck up and the battle began. Barbarians shot arrows down from their stone fortress. Romans and barbarians clashed swords. Then the Romans gave up. The barbarians had some Romans killed and some Romans made as slaves, but that is another story. The end. So, of course, I've been annotating these, so you're getting the latest 2019 annotated version of these award-winning worst stories ever written. Thanks for listening, and tune in next time for more silly stories which are beyond belief.